Well, hello and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Vishvapani Blomfield, and thank you so much for joining me today for this session. The series is exploring the breath, experiencing meditation on the breath called Beyond Breathing. And in today's practice, we're going to be using an image, the image of the wave, which we're going to use to focus on the breath in a way that engages the imagination. So to help us do this, maybe you could bring to mind the last time you were by the sea. And we'd love to make this kind of shared and interactive. So please use the chat to share your experience of being by the sea, just something very simple. So I've just recently been on holiday by the sea. And it was a week of swimming, of paddleboarding, but also sitting and watching the waves. And then there was one evening where we sat by a fire on the beach with quite a few other people. And it was very lovely, people drumming and singing and all sorts of things. And we were just listening to the waves. And all of that was just a lovely way to become more attuned to the sea. But because the sea is affected by tides, because it has waves and currents, it's also a way to become connected to the rhythm of nature. And for me, this goes along with noticing the rhythm of the breath. So for me, the breath meditation on the breath is very familiar. And one of the aspects of the breathing that I really enjoy is to notice that cycle, that rhythm, that rising and falling and how it moves. And the wave is a natural image for the breath because the waves, they rise and they fall. And I like using images personally because they offer another way to connect. It's not just feeling sensations, but it's also not thinking about the breath or thinking about a wave. And we can use images to become absorbed. But an image in a way also has a life of its own. So we can notice the elements that the image highlights. For example, maybe the sense of rhythm. And you could visualize the wave, but really, if we're integrating it with the breath, it's about sensing the wave. So it's not that I'm breathing and I'm imagining a wave. I'm feeling that the breath is a wave. So you can let all of that, and connections around the image emerge, and that helps you to make it your own. So if you have thought of an experience of being by the sea, then bring that into your immediate experience right now and into the practice. Okay, so we'll get going, we'll get started, and just deciding how you want to sit. So paying some attention to our posture. And the posture we're looking for is both alert and upright. And that's important, for example, if you're sitting on an armchair where you tend to just sink back into the armchair. So if you're doing that, maybe bring your back away from the back of the chair. Actually, an upright dining chair or kitchen chair is usually quite good if we're sitting on a chair. Of course, you can lie down, and you may be someone who does a lot of yoga, and you're able to sit very comfortably on the floor. Either way, we do need to be comfortable and we need to be upright and alert. So just finding your posture, taking your time to bring awareness to the body. and also consciously settling awareness on this time as a time of meditation, a time of quiet, time to just be here. Giving ourselves some space. Take a breath. Just sensing what happens in the body as we breathe. It's so familiar, but it's also mysterious. This is keeping us alive. The breath flows in and flows out. And if we doubt that, we'll just try holding your breath. Pretty soon know that the body really wants to breathe. It wants to flow. It wants the cycle to flow. So following the breath all the way in and all the way out. Feeling the rise and fall of the breath, but also noticing the body as a whole. So as we breathe in, the whole body expands, swells, moves, the shoulders move, the chest moves, the back moves, the lower back, the tummy. The weight shifts slightly, especially if we breathe a little more deeply. So feeling the breath, feeling the flow, the rhythm. We come to the end of the breath. The muscles are waiting to breathe in, to expand, to draw air into the body. When the breath's at its fullest, the muscles want to let go. They want to ease. They want the air, the breath to flow out again. The body is really good at this. The body knows how to breathe. And of course, we're feeding on air. Breath nourishes us with its oxygen, and we have the relief of letting go of carbon dioxide, of the waste. It's our interaction with our environment. So as we sit with the breath flowing in and flowing out, just opening to the space of imagination. And sensing, feeling, seeing, imagining a wave. A wave on the sea, on the ocean. And this is your wave. Whether it's big or small, whether it's cresting and breaking, or just bobbing up and down, whether it's a great big surfer's wave or a tsunami or just a little ripple. Whatever you like. But the wave is an image for the breath. So as we stay with these sensations, just letting the breath be that wave. Breath flowing in like a wave rising, flowing out like the wave receding or settling. Perhaps we hear the wave, the sound of the wave. A wave on a beach, a wave out at sea. Lapping by the shore. So sensing the wave in the body. Breath rises up, breath settles down. The wave rises, the wave settles. Energy rises with the wave. Energy settles with the wave. So we're just going to be staying with this image. So as we sit, as we breathe, as we sense this wave, our thoughts are most likely also active. Other images, other thoughts tugging at our attention. So when we notice that that's happened, that our attention has been taken, just reclaim our awareness and return to the breath. Come back. Settle. Come back to here. Come back to now. Come back to the breath. Come back to the wave. As we stay with this image of the wave, let's engage with it more fully. The light, sun, reflected and refracted, colour, the colour of sea, the colour of water, movement. Change. Perhaps the smell of the sea. Taste. All of that in the wave image as the breath rises, as the breath falls. And staying with the body so that the image of the wave is helping us to connect more deeply with the sensations of the body. So the rhythm of the body, rising like a wave, settling like a wave as the breath flows out. Flow. Change. Movement. The body moving, energy moving like a wave. As the wave rises, energy rises. As the wave settles, our energy settles. Breath rising, breath sinking. Now starting to let the image fade, recede. Leaving us with the body. Perhaps our experience of the body has another element now. Everything that the wave expresses. Just here in the movement of these sensations, these muscles, this immediate experience. Breathing, resting, settling. And starting to move towards the end of the practice. Just move our fingers, move our shoulders maybe. I like to just roll the shoulders a bit, externalizing our awareness, perhaps rolling our neck. And when we're ready, opening our eyes. So even having brought the practice to a close, let's just take our time. And I think this is part of the practice itself. Just noticing the transition, bringing attention to the transition between being settled in meditation and being more active, even if that part of that is me talking. Transitions are part of that rhythm of our lives. And if we attend to transitions, we can flow a little more smoothly between one practice, one activity, and the next activity. So just noticing what happened in our practice, absorbing it. How was it for you to settle attention on the image of the breath? And what's it left you with? And what's present right now? And did it affect how you related to physical sensations? I mean, you might have found that the image was a distraction, or you may have found that it was a way to become more absorbed. Whichever is the case, the practice is just to be with it. Okay. And I think it's worth knowing that in education, for example, we talk about there being different kinds of learners. Some people are more kinesthetic, learning through the body, And really with meditation, especially meditation on something like the breath, we're emphasizing that, being connected to the body. Some people are more auditory, it's about hearing, maybe about words. And some people are more visual. So images are really helpful if you're a visual learner. But we're all visual learners to some extent. And even if we're focusing on the visual image of a breath, the way we've done it shows that it's not just about seeing something. It's also about becoming sensitive to our experience, using the image. The neuroscience tells us that images can engage the right brain, which is the realm of intuition and feeling and that sort of thing, rather than the left brain, which is very prominent in our culture, our education system, which is about analysis and understanding in that way. So images have this sort of strange power and potency. Don't force an image. Okay, it doesn't matter if you exactly see the image or it works in the way you expect. Just use an image like the wave to help you connect with the body and with your sensations. So in a sense, it isn't really about the image. When we're using the wave in this way, it's about the breath. The image is helping us stay with the breath. And of course, images have a life of their own. We started off thinking about time by the sea, and so a wave might connect us with that sort of experience, or perhaps something else, perhaps something a bit more poetical and mysterious. But whatever it is, just let that emerge. I find that the image of the breath can help me to become more attuned to rhythms in general. I mean, certainly to the rhythm of the breath, and the waves, the flow of energy, of emotions, but also the rhythm of that's everywhere in our lives, of days, of seasons, the rhythm of a whole life from birth to the end. And, there's a Buddhist scripture which says that, life is like a wave. It rises and it settles. I mean, this is the sort of thing that poets have often explored. So let's finish with a beautiful poem by the Irish poet Seamus Heaney. The name of the poem is Lovers on Arran, which is a Atlantic island off the coast of the British Isles. And it's about the sea and the land, but it's also about our own relationship with everything that is mysterious, that uncontrollable element in our lives, and the rhythms through which all of these things are related. Okay. The timeless waves, bright, shifting, broken glass, come dazzling around, into the rocks, come glinting, shifting from the Americas to possess Arran. Or did Arran rush to throw wide arms of rock around a tide that yielded with an ebb, with a soft crash? Did sea define the land, or land the sea? Each drew new meaning from the waves' collision. Sea broke on land to full identity. Thank you for sharing this time. Please continue to explore your meditation practice with us. Check out our daily live meditations at round.glass or on our app. Have a great day and keep riding the waves.